We're tired of this hateful violence. We're tired of talking about it, but we're not done speaking out. Far from it.
We are united, and we are waking up.
Hi, my name is Betty Yuan, and I will be the MC tonight. And Michael Liu, and he will be the one of the MC for tonight. Mike, thank you for joining the Civic Forum Candlelight Night protest in remember of those that we lost on March 16 in Atlanta. Now we would like to have the silence for 30 seconds. On the 16th, 3 massage parlors in Atlanta were targeted by a gunman, and 8 lives were lost, including those of 6 Asian women. Since the outbreak of the pandemic, Asians and Asian Americans have been discriminated against and attacked time and time again. Now let's keep silence for remember of them. We cannot tolerate again, for we need to stop Asian hate.
We gathered here at the Zoom call for the reason of most recently the killing happened in Atlanta, at which, as all you know, 8 people got killed. 6 of them are Asian women, working women killed by a single gunman at 3 different places at work, legitimate work, try to make a living, and maybe some of them are realizing their American dream. They are innocent people. They are not deserve to be killed by someone who, like the police person named us, had a bad day. So we cannot tolerate that, and we cannot tolerate that hate behind it. Prior to that killing, so many Asians and many others, innocent people, tortured, insulted, killed for no reason. Maybe only reason is the hate. That is not American, it's un-American, and we have to have our voice heard against it. So that's the reason why we gathered here, and we have a list of the members of the society would like to express their feeling about this hate. Daddy.
Now we would like to invite Henry Yin, President of Papa Bay Area region, coordinator of the Civic Forum, say a few words.
Well, thank you, Betty. Good evening, everyone. Mr. Henry Yin. It's very encouraging to see this many people attend this event, even with only a few days' notice. Yes, we're gathered here. We have reason to be angry, and we must speak loud and clear and send a message. Today, we happen to put this together for local. Other similar rallies or protests have been over the countries, either in person or in this kind of a virtual Zoom format. I'd like to offer you a few of my personal remarks on this kind of an instance, that we must unite with a strong front, not only by API, but other groups and athletes together. I'll give you some numbers. In California, API Asian Americans accounted for about only 16%. But Hispanic voters will be about 36%. You add those two numbers together, we are a majority. That's one good reason that we must work together with other groups. Now, obviously, there will be some larger scale of a similar protest that I can share with you. APAPA is in the process of organizing a nationwide rally, and information will be released within only a couple of days. Now, this time, it's not going to be just few words speaking to ourselves. We must make this very loud and clear to the legislature and the mainstream medias. And this is the time we're going to let them realize that for the legislature, they must change the law, giving very, very tough and proper punishment to these crime makers. It's no longer just like a small cake and small issues. Now, in the meantime, I also like to share with our fellow Asian Americans that we also need to give a thought about ourselves. Why most of those incidents happen to be either Chinese American or few others? Is there anything that we probably need to also evaluate ourselves as far as our behavior or our way of so-called, merging into the mainstream? Last but not the least, I like to give some advice to people who happen to be very active in the small social media and exchanging shout and loud and yelling to each other. But unfortunately, I do not see them here tonight or to any general public. And that's not the way that we Asian American should behave ourselves. So those are my personal comments. Thank you so much. And again, hope to see you again.
The next speaker is Yan Zhao. Yan Zhao, please introduce yourself and say a couple of words, please. Yan, you are muted. Please unmute. Yeah,
okay. Thank you. Someone just, I wasn't able to unmute it. Thank you so much. Hi, I'm Yan Zhao, Mayor of City of Saratoga. Many of you probably have seen my flyer that we are going to host a rally next Saturday in front of Saratoga City Hall from 11 a.m. to 12 noon. I'm the mayor of Saratoga. If I cannot feel safe walking down the street in my city, how do I tell my residents that our city is safe? We all know that politics are local. So I invited 4 other neighboring city mayors to join me to co-host next Saturday's event, namely Cupertino, Campbell, Monte Sereno, and Los Gatos. But of course, everyone is welcome to join us. Actually, many of the rally volunteers are here, including Vice Mayor Liang Chao, Councilmember Hong Wei, and Sophia. We want to send a clear message to our communities. We will not tolerate any hate crimes against Asian Americans. We will not tolerate any hate crimes against anyone. How much suffering and hurt do we have to endure before the world see that and recognize that? We have to stand up and speak out for ourselves. But we cannot be naive. We cannot fight this hate crime against AAPI alone. We need allies. We need to work with district attorney offices to make sure they prosecute those hate crimes. We need to work with police officers to make sure they respond to hate crime calls. We need to work with legislators to lobby them to pass tough laws on hate crime acts. I'm sad we have to fight for our basic human rights, that we can be safe in public places. But I'm glad we're fighting it right now and fighting it together. Thank you.
Thank you, Zhao Yan. The next speaker will be the Sophia Cao, co-founder of YAPA.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sophia Cao. I'm the co-founder of YAPA. Thank you for organizing this event. It is my great honor to join the meeting, standing in solidarity with you all to remember the victim of the recent Asian hate crime. So I came to US over 20 years ago and calling this land home, while like many of the first generation immigrants, We work hard, find a job here, building and growing our families. Our wealth and social status continue to grow and to mature. However, there always been a couple of things I observe which hinder us from really becoming the master or the owner of this land. First of all, due to our culture and the background, first-generation immigrant not used to speaking up or to advocate for our own rights. As a former school board member, I have witnessed firsthand that many Chinese families may feel very intimidated or don't have the resources to fight for their own right or their children's right. For example, some parents may complain about their kids are being treated unfairly in school doing some private chat, but when encourage them to seek a proper process to find a solution, they may feel very intimidated. They choose not to confront with the school authority. Secondly, Asian is one of the most diverse ethnic groups in US. Depending on where we come from, where our social economical status, where we live, or our age group, we share very, very different political viewpoint. Unfortunately, we have witnessed or experienced the increased division among Asian community in recent years. Well, tonight, while we all feel the pain of the victim of the hate crime and the violence, I'm actually encouraged because I see that we are joined by so many crowds nationally who attend the rally in this weekend or attend a similar online memorial service like this one. As I see, this will be an opportunity for Chinese Americans to unite together, to stand up, to speak up, to really learn how to advocate for ourselves and for our next generation. I believe this is also the mission of the Civic Forum, where we try to find a common ground so all of us could respect the different viewpoint, but to work together for the common benefit of us all. So we are no longer the insignificant minority, and we could eventually be at the table instead of on the menu. Thank you so much.
Next speaker is Sean Ling, BRI Youth. Sean, please.
Hi, everyone. So I'm Sean Lin from BRI Youth. And I'd first like to thank you guys for letting me speak here today. So in light of the recent racially motivated attacks on Asian people in America, I would like to take some time to reflect. Rest in peace to the 8 people murdered in Atlanta, Georgia. And I wish a speedy recovery to the many, mostly elderly Asian people attacked in the cities like San Francisco, New York, Oakland, and elsewhere in America. Reading and hearing about these incidents worry me, not just for my own safety, but the safety of my relatives, friends, and especially the safety of my grandma. I remember in history class learning about the many civil rights issues, riots, lynchings, and questionable policy decisions before this year. I was grateful that I did not have to live during those times, but this past year alone has completely stopped those thoughts. I realize now that while better, not much has changed, and I'm living in a time that someone in the future will ponder about just as I had done before. The fact that anti-Asian hate crimes rose 149% from 2019 to 2020, while the COVID-19 pandemic ravaged the world is disheartening. It is sad to see that there's still a lot of hate and divisiveness in this country and things we must do better. One bright spot that is helping me through this difficult time is seeing how communities, both Asian and non-Asian, are coming together to help one another. The more than 700 volunteers helping escort and protect elderly Asian Americans in Oakland is such a project that has given me hope and that I believe we can come back from this together and stronger. I know it is a scary time, but if history has shown me anything, it's that the darkest and scariest of times can lead to the greatest of changes. Moments like this are what motivate people like you and me to fight back and figure out solutions so future generations won't have to feel the fear and pain that we are right now. Thank you.
Thank you, Sean. Is Albert Wen there? Albert? Is Albert Wen here? Okay. Albert, you're the next, please.
Albert, please unmute yourself. Albert, you're muted. Thank you.
Yeah, we were not able to unmute ourselves unless the host allows us. So
Okay.
yeah, for the next speaker, you might want to do that. So this is Albert Wang. I represent APAPA, Asian Pacific Islander American Public Affairs Association, California, as well as national. It is indeed sad times, and this has happened to us in the past in my 30 years of civic engagements and advocacy, but it's the first time we actually have attention. I recall in Wen Ho Lee days, and no one would listen to us despite us having a story to tell. And this time the president and the vice president went to Atlanta, spoke to Asian American leaders, and we have a forum to state our desire to be heard. Supporting the victim is not enough. This has happened before. All we do is, donate some money to the family. We're so sorry, our prayers are with you, and soon the event is forgotten. There is societal bias and discrimination against us. We're the supposedly model minority, but yet we're politically weak. We're viewed as good worker bees and never leaders in America. We suffer discrimination, but yet we don't voice ourselves against it, unlike other minorities. And yet the media pays so much attention to the perpetrators that he likes hunting, he goes to church, he was shy in school, he has sex addiction. And the police spokesperson, Sheriff Baker, said he had a bad day. And recently, San Francisco District Attorney Bolden also stated that a youth who attacked an elderly man in front of his own garage had a bad temper tantrum. These are unforgivable statements that should not be tolerated. This should never have come from people who are supposed to protect us. These are not apologists for the criminals. These are law enforcement people who should be on our side. But since we're viewed as weak and inept, they don't really care. They could say anything they want, they get away with it. If they had done that to other people, they'd be fired instantly. So this is the time we need to get our message out. And this message is not just for us to be, give platitude, thank you so much for coming to Atlanta. Thank you so much for apologies. Thank you for helping your community feel better. We demand actions this time. We need better police protection for our businesses, for our elderly, for our women. We need societal education of who Asian Americans really are, indeed part of the fabric of America, not just another exotic sex object for Asian women, or inept Asian men who works well but cannot be leaders. We need attention, and we need to promote our message this time and pass it through the opportunity that we finally have after so many years of not being heard. We intend to have rallies. May is Asian Pacific Islander Month, Heritage Month, and we will voice, and also the anniversary of passage of Chinese Exclusion Act in 1882. We intend to make our message known. We invite all of you to join us to fight back, and we're going to keep at the fight. This is not a one-time thing. It is not going to go away in 2 weeks or 2 months. It will be continuing for years to come. I hope all of us can work together toward that goal. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Albert.
Are you there?
Thank you, Betty.
Sure. Thank you, Wei Hong. Yeah.
Thank you, Betty.
Wei Hong is a council member of Cupertino.
Hi, good evening. This is Hong Wei. I'm 41 residents of Cupertino and a member of the Cupertino City Council. Fear, anger, despair. These are the feelings we are feeling in light of the hate crime in Atlanta in the last week. Over the course of the last year, there have been unsettling increase in violence against Asian and the Pacific Islander community, a reflection of the divisive and racist language that has emerged nationally over the course of the COVID-19 pandemic. Moments like this are a call to action, to simply stand by and saying we're not part of the hate crime or action is not an option anymore. We must remember the founding values of our nation: freedom, bravery, democracy, integrity, and justice for all. Hate crimes and racism have no place in our community, in our state, and in our nation. We must stand up, speak up, and fight against hatred and racism. So our children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren could say that They are proud of their parents, their grandparents, their great-grandparents who stood up, spoke up, and fought to defend the values of our founding fathers, the value of freedom, democracy, integrity, and justice for all. We must fight to end hate directed at the Asian American and Pacific Islander community and ensure that all people can live without fear. So we invite everyone to stand with us, lighting up a candle in memory of the victims fallen under the hate crimes and racism. They remind us to raise our voice and take actions, to make a stand against hatred and violence that has no place in our community, in our state, in our nation. Join the conversation and join the actions. Join us to stop hate crimes and racism in its tracks. Change cannot happen unless we stand together, shoulder to shoulder, to build the United States of America that we want to see, that our founding fathers built with the values that they value. So this is the moment, like Albert said, this is not just one moment. This will go on for months, for years. Let's learn the history, let's stand together, let's make clear that hate crimes and racism have no place in the United States of America. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Hongwei. The next speaker is Frank Ouyang, who is the president of Hunan Association. Frank?
Hi, everyone. Good evening. It's Frank Ouyang. Yes, Hunan Association. I'm really glad everyone gets together here for the initiatives of Stop Asian Hate. I also learned from my company. My firm, my employer, issued a statement in supporting Asian American communities and employees, especially they want to make sure the employees are protected. The feeling also. So what I want to really think is we have to take action. As I agree with a lot of speakers prior, we have to take all actions. Start from us, walk through the community, the society, the government sections, the legal systems, all aspects of the country, every part of the country. Only doing that, we have to work harder. I mean, only do that, we can stop the crimes, stop the violence. So I just think we should fight harder, be stronger. Thanks much.
Liangfang, is it okay to talk?
Okay.
Yeah, let's welcome Zhao Liangfang, okay, Vice Mayor of Cupertino.
嗨，大家好。我们用英文是吧？
Yes, please.
So, thank you for holding this candlelight. I think hate crimes against Asian American or crimes against Asian American have been going on, but ignored, underreported, and then not be paid attention to by the media and by the authority. So I think this is a time that we realize we need to get everyone to realize this is an ongoing problem. It didn't just happen last year. I talked to the community organizers in San Francisco, and I read an article by New York community organizer, and they emphasized this is an ongoing problem. It's not just an uptick from last year, and we need to take this time to get the attention of everyone that we cannot be silenced anymore, and we are learning to find our voices. However, at the same time, we also should know that we should stand shoulder to shoulder with every race, because if any one person, any one group gets stereotyped or scapegoated, we will become the next target. And the moment, so I think and then they will take it out, the hatred, they will take it out to the most vulnerable in our society, the seniors, the ones who live close, maybe just nearby. So So we are hosting, I think Han gave a great speech. Han, Yan, Zhao, and Sophia, we are hosting another rally this Saturday. And we are saying stop Asian hate, justice for all. We cannot stop at just calling out the hate. We need to look at what do we do next? What's the next step that could keep our community safe for everyone? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now, the next speaker is Zhou Ying. Yin Zhou. Yin, please.
Okay. My name is Ying. I'm speaking for myself. While I'm very glad to see our Chinese community are waking up, more and more people stand up and make our voice being heard. I have to remind you that majority of our community is still very silent. My calculation shows that more than 80% of our people are still very, very quiet. In the past few days, I have been watching a few wildlife videos. When lions are hunting buffaloes, often calves and older buffaloes are more vulnerable. This is very similar to what is happening right now to our community. Young and strong buffaloes are not immune. Sooner or later, they will come to hunt you. I found out that when the lions are chasing, everybody is running for life. But when they start fighting back, even a few, sometimes a very handful of strong buffaloes, the entire herd is going to be saved. So let's stop being silent, particularly when the predators are hunting us. I urge everyone of our community, for whatever reason, you haven't speak up. We need to speak up. We cannot always count on other people to protect us. And it is our turn right now, and it matters. Thank you.
Thank you, Zhou Ying. Next, we would like to have Emma Yi. Actually, she is the elementary school student. Emma, are you there? Emma, are you here? Okay. If Emma is not here, maybe we can have the next speaker, Jason Lu.
Hi, my name is Jason from Papa Bear region. I just have one thing to say, law and order. We need law and order. So law and order is really important for us, even for the country. So that's what I want to say. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jason. So is Wen Yuan here? Wen Yuan? Wen Yuan? Okay, our next speaker then is Lei Wang. Lei, please.
Lei told me she may be here a little bit late, so maybe next.
Okay, then Masha.
Hi everyone, I'm Masha Galanco, and I'm speaking not only for myself, but for groups who are not able to come and for organizations who are not able to attend. So as an immigrant in this country for many, many years, came here as a student and then settled down in this country and became naturalized citizens for a long time. I have experienced different cycles of discrimination, but not as bad as this time. I'm angry, I'm upset, but on the other hand, I'm prepared. From previous experience, getting to be proactive, I was a human relations commissioner in my county for 10 years. And through the training and then being in the commission, I realized that there's all kinds of prejudice and abuses towards almost everybody, women, children, elders, and different races. And racial relations is a very dynamic topic that we have to deal with. But I would like to say that let's not be quiet, let's not be silent, let's not be victims. We learn to speak up and educate ourselves and others. It's not okay. And it's not doing anybody good to be hateful. We also can learn to collaborate regardless of differences that we have with each group, but then we all are human beings and we all want to have peace and to honor others, honor ourselves. And this is a good opportunity, like what other leaders were saying, who have been in the community for a long time. Let's get active. Let's be proactive. I would say collaborate with different levels, local, your county, your state, and national. I was in a Department of Homeland Security conference just a few days ago. And everybody spoke up, and we definitely think that everybody aligned and to do more work and not just talk. And I'm happy to say that there's a movement going on, and together we're going to make a huge impact. And thank you for having me speak tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Marsha. And Yuanwen, could you unmute Emma E? Could you unmute Emma E?
I'm a 10-year-old Asian American girl, and I am scared. When my mom told me 6 Asian women had been killed in Atlanta, I was super scared. What if they came to shoot me? I'm Asian. When my mom said we were going to a protest on Sunday, I was scared. What if they came to shoot us? Eventually, my mom convinced me. We can't let them scare us into giving up what is rightfully our rights. Rights to protest, rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. I remember when COVID-19 first started in January last year, my parents paid close attention to the news every day. When signs showed community spread in the US, they pulled us out of school, even before the schools closed. Like most Asian Americans, we sheltered in place, avoided gatherings, and wore masks. We did what we could. But as the COVID numbers kept going up, I didn't understand why some people said it was our fault. Why do we have to be scapegoated for the government's failed public health policies? My mom and her friends even bought PPEs from China to donate to local hospitals because we are part of the community and we're in it together. Quarantine is hard. I dread distance learning. I miss musical theater, swimming, and all of my friends. But I cope. I sing and I read when I'm going out of my mind. I don't hurt others. And I don't blame them either, because What good does that do? Hating and hurting won't fill your bucket. It won't solve your problem. It won't make you powerful. It just shows that you're a bitter coward who can't handle your emotions. The author Brené Brown once said, "It's hard to hate up close, so we come out and show our faces. We are human. Just because we look different doesn't mean we're not as American as everyone else. We recite the Pledge of Allegiance at school every day. We read Diary of a Wimpy Kid and Percy Jackson. We love musical theater and Disneyland. We eat dumplings as well as McDonald's. We are more alike than we are different. You know what's not American? These attacks are un-American. In America, we don't treat people differently because they're older, weaker, or look different. Racism is a disease that is un-American. Please pull yourself together and stop the Asian hate. Thank you.
That was very powerful, Emma, thank you very much. I think your parents, your mother, your parents are right. And we are here. I trust that all the people, the good people, not only Chinese or Asian Americans, but all good Americans will come together and tell you as a young girl and all the other young girls, no matter if you're Asian young girls, Asian American young girls, or other young girls or boys or any other children, you are safe in this great country. We hope that all the good people coming together fight this hate, evil force, and so we can say to all of our children, as a parents, you are safe. Thank you very much, Emma, again. So next speaker is Peggy Cho. Peggy, please.
Good evening. I think most of you, same as me, we have faced many difficulties immigrating from our native country to the USA in hopes of a better life for our family. We just listen to Emma's voice. So we know that the recent anti-Asian events have made us very scared. If we do not unite and say no to this continual racist statements and attacks, the beautiful dreams we came to these countries with will one day be washed away. Racism is far too dangerous to ignore. So I think we need to figure out and brainstorm together to see how to stop Asian hate. That is very important to us now. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Peggy. The next speaker will be Lei Wen. Wen, could you just unmute her? Lei Wen will be the next. Please unmute her.
Not here.
Wen Yuan, I think we see Wen Yuan popped up.
Wen, do you see Lei Wen?
No, I don't see her.
Oh, I see.
Okay, so the next will be the Jing Hao. The next will be the Jing Hao. Jing Hao, please.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jim Hao, a software engineer working in Silicon Valley. I was a model minority. After I became the US citizen, I knew I should be more than the model minority. As a US citizen, I have my duty, I have my right. The Atlanta shooting shocked me. 8 people died, among them 6 Asian women. They are my sisters, they are my brothers. So I have to speak up now. Stop the Asian hate. Stop hate and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Jim. The next speaker is Xiao Liao. Mr. Liao, please.
Okay.
Liao? Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. This is Cheng Liao. I'm with CAPA and with APAPA. Yes, we need to speak up, to protest and have rallies. But we also need to look at the root causes of these violence. Look at big picture, work long-term for real solution. For that, let's do two things together now. One, for ourselves, be Americans. Study and understand American history, past and existing discrimination, civil rights movement, and why affirmative action 1965 was designed to help disadvantaged people to have a just and equal starting point. As fellow Americans, please never, never threaten people who disagree with you on issues. Study Chinese American and Asian American history. Know our participation and many past contributions. Number two, extend ourselves and involve in our local community and be part of American fabric. Host ours neighborhood block parties. Know and understand our community. White, Black, Hispanic, and other Asian. Tell them we Chinese American contributed in building American Railroad, fought for America in World War II. Now, we are COVID virus frontline workers as nurses, doctors, and we are teachers, social workers, economists, engineers, and science PhDs. We are Americans. We are not foreigners and not your enemies. We vote in all elections. We pay attention to hate crime bills in the Senate and in the House. Last year, 164 Republican congressmen voted against such hate crime bill. Let's ask them why. Let's tell them we are Asian American voters and we are 23 million strong. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Liao. The next speaker will be the Lei Wen. Unmute, please. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak today. I just represented myself as a 3 girls mom and over 30 years experienced teacher. So I would like to respond for Emma first, sweetheart. I'm not blaming you. You are not blamed to be scared. Who's not? My manager just sent me a message a few days ago, asked me stay inside of the house. Don't go anywhere. So we are afraid. And we are also tired of being victim. Nothing is wrong for us to work hard and teaching our kids to be good citizens for the country we love. Nothing is wrong with all of the Chinese in America work our bottom off to have a decent life. We're not supposed to be the one who got a target and for attacked. That's not okay. And it is the time for us to stand up to tell the whole world is not okay. Enough is enough. Chinese never want to attack the people, but we are, never be afraid to fight back. At least I'm not. And I think, more and more people just waking up. We're supposed to be united and fight together, just like so many friends told us we need to stand up shoulder by shoulder and walk, like a naive child to learn how to play the political in the new country. That's what we're supposed to do. And also, I would like to follow other friend to talk about the guy who said he just had a bad day and it was what happened. You know what? I would like to say a bad word. You are asshole. Do you think it is okay? I don't have a good day and I can go to your house to kill all your family. It is nonsense, bullshit, and not okay. So we don't take anything like that. I think we should stand up to stop all the things like this. And thank you so much for all the friends just coming up and speak loud. We supposed to have our voice to be heard. I'm not here just to speak for myself. I think I'm old enough to have so much, like experience. I got enough. I just speak for my kids, for my family, for my friends. We supposed to be the normal citizen, not a foreigner, not a Chinese, not a virus. So I'm here just to respond for the things as a citizen I'm supposed to do. Thank you so much.
Lily, thank you. The feeling is actually shared. Thank you. The next speaker is Lin Li, President of APTSJW. Lin, please.
Sorry, I'm coming late. My name is Lin. Yeah, I'm representing APTSJW. Today is the National Day for the Elimination of Racial Discrimination. APTSJW express sincere concerns for the families of the March 16 Atlanta killings victims. We condemn the Atlanta killings and call for the appropriate measure for these atrocities. I think in the Atlanta shooting on March 19, President Biden urged the Congress to pass the Corona-19 Hate Criminal Act. I think it is time to put our heads together to ensure this legislative act are implemented to guarantee that hate for Asians stops, not just now, but permanently. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Li. Yeah, President of Alliance Preserving the Truth of Sino-Japanese War. The next speaker will be the Huang Qian. Huang Qian, are you there?
还没有听到吧？啊，听到吧？
Yes. Yeah, Huang Qian. Okay.
There is only a very short distance between racism language and racial violence. Even in 21st century today, politicians still use racial hatred to win votes. Besides, even today, we can still find racist rhetoric in school curriculum and in mass media. Let me tell you why this is not something to be tolerated. Because step by step, it is pushing us under knives, under fists, and under the shooting guns. In order to gain political power, we have a very challenging situation. Chinese Americans only makes 1% of US population. And on top of that, 60% of us are first generation immigrants. What does this tell us? Nobody should escape from our duty of civic engagement, especially from voting, because our very existence depends on our political power. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The next speaker is Liu Yufeng. Yufeng, please.
Hi, my name is Yufeng Liu. I'm from Portland, Oregon. So I'm here on behalf of myself. I'm very angry. I'm beyond angry, so I don't have much to say. Yesterday, I walked down the street, I met a stranger, I waved him, and he replied with a smile. Today, I walked down the street, I waved a stranger, he yelled me, "Go back to your country." Yesterday, I trudged in the wilderness, carrying a bear spray. Today, I walk in my own neighborhood, carry a pepper spray. For fear, the danger lurking in the dark corner. We are from all walks of life, just like everyone else. When you're happy, we are happy. When you struggle, we struggle. When you had a bad day, we are in life and death. Why I have to worry about my kids to be called virus in the school? Why I have to warn my wife to put on running shoes when walking in a shopping mall? I thought we all came through the golden door, shined by the torch of God's liberty. For how long do we have to mourn our lost elders and sisters? Where are the politicians who swear and promised to serve and protect? Today, let's just put aside partisanship, put aside race, color. Enough is enough. We mobilize, we assemble in the street. We will fight until we see the light in the tunnel. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Yufan. The next speaker will represent Yapa Youth. The person's name is Esther. Esther, are you there? Yeah, okay, Esther. Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. My name is Esther, and I'm a high school junior from Saratoga, California. My parents emigrated to the US from Taiwan years before I was born, and I grew up in Silicon Valley. I never really thought of myself as anything other than American when I was growing up. The communities I had always lived in were mostly Asian American. But as I got older and as I began to venture more outside of the bubble of Silicon Valley, I realized the sad reality of rampant xenophobia in our country. I am only 16, and I cannot count how many instances of discrimination I've seen committed against my friends, family, and community. And for Asian American youth like myself, many of us experience xenophobia and prejudice so often that we get used to it, and we even internalize and see as normal the racist stereotypes and expectations that are placed on us. The influx of hate, xenophobia, and fear that darkens an already painful time during this pandemic is very disheartening. But I have hope that things will get better. The only thing we can do now is to move forward together. Even with the terrible circumstances that have led us here today, I'm glad this movement can unite generations of Asian Americans to open our minds to new ideas, to real solutions, and to stand up for ourselves and to move forward. I'm hopeful for a day I won't feel worried when my parents get home later than expected, for a day I don't have to hold my keys between my fingers when I walk across a parking lot at night because I'm afraid somebody is going to jump out and attack me because I'm an Asian woman. I'm hopeful that a day will come that I'm a person before I'm my race, and my Chinese heritage is a valued part of my humanity instead of a label on my appearance. And we will be heard. We of all ages will participate in civic events, in advocacy, in local and state and in national policy. We will not be quiet, chained by America's perception of us as the model minority, and endure hate. I stand today in solidarity with all the victims of hate, xenophobia, racism, and discrimination. I stand here with my community and all of you who are here today. Thank you for being here, and together we will make a difference.
Absolutely. Thank you for the very strong, powerful words and great hope. Absolutely. We work together, we fight against the dark force, the hate, and then we would have hope. We have to unite it and fight. Hopefully your hope will become true. Thank you very much. The next speaker is Xiaoyan Zhang. Xiaoyan, please.
Yes, thank you. So glad to see so many people. We're all stand up together. I'm a first generation immigrant from mainland China and been in this country for more than 3 decades. I'm an entrepreneur and a data scientist. but recently I've been very active in the civic engagement because as we all feel it is time, we must stand up and participate in American democracy. The crime committed to 8 people, including 6 Asian American women in Atlanta is despicable. AAPI community must stand up and speak out against such violent crimes toward Asian Americans. While we appreciate the quick response from the President Biden and Vice President Harris in condemning the crime, we also need to look deeper into the underlying reasons of social and racial unrest in this country. First, throughout American history, Asian Americans have been under the shadow of perpetual foreigners. In a national crisis, their American identity is often questioned, suspicions raised, and anti-Asian actions are carried out. American identity is not of a race or cultural tradition. It is based on the belief in the American spirit and the democracy, regardless of color of skin or country of origin. The hate crime against any racial and ethnic group is un-American. Second, as a nation of immigrants, the United States is undergoing a profound population structure change. In 20 years, America will become a nation without a majority race. The coming of this new reality created uncertainty and fears, which can increase distrust, isolation between different racial and ethnic groups. We should not be fearful of the future. Building a multi-ethnic democracy where all racial and ethnic groups are represented in the decision-making process is a common interest of all Americans, including Asian Americans. We're building our collective American dream. We must keep our faith in the American spirit that all men are created equal, and an American democracy with check and balance, which enable us to resolve social, economic, political, and racial conflicts through a peaceful, transparent, participatory, and a democratic process of evolution. Asian Americans have always been Americans. We must stand up to hate crimes and defend our civil rights under the Constitution. At the same time, we must also demonstrate our Americanness by active civic engagement and making contributions as Americans. This is a historical moment for all of us to stand up and join not just the current fight, but also become indispensable part of American political process in the long run. Representation matters. Only when we participate in a decision-making process at all levels of government, AAPI community is empowered and respected. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Zhang. The next speaker will be the Sarah Shen. Sarah.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for inviting me to speak, especially to Johnson and Uncle Henry for inviting me to this event last minute. I don't have prepared remarks because I didn't realize, Uncle Henry, that I was actually going to speak, but I've been incredibly inspired by everything that I've heard tonight. And I have known for many years that there is this incredible community of elders, of my parents who've been working very hard to make our lives as Americans, as Asian Americans, better. And it has become very clear to me that there is a responsibility for our generation or my generation to continue doing that good work. And I had never been very civically engaged. I think that there are a lot of Asian Americans like myself who have been taught about work ethic and who've been taught about our careers and to show up to work and to show up in our communities in a way that didn't include civic engagement. And even with those accomplishments, you know, in my 30s, it has felt empty, especially in this year that's unprecedented. Having grown up experiencing racism, it's not new to me, but to see it come at such great cost to the most vulnerable in our community, to our grandparents, to our parents, it has been incredibly shocking, and it has been very inspiring for me to find ways in which I can spend my time outside of work doing the work that you guys have been doing for so long with so much commitment and dedication. And so I want to thank all of you for your years of service and for being that foundation for us to continue to do the work. I'll give you just a very brief example of what, for anyone else who's in my genre of being a professional career person right now, I actually ended up emailing the CFO. I work for Gilead Sciences in R&D FP&A in finance. And I emailed Andy Dickinson, our CFO, when I didn't see a statement come from Gilead internally about the attacks on our community. And I wrote to him, and very fortunately, there was a statement that was in the works. But that's just one example as a corporate professional, what we can do to make sure that we hold accountable the people that are around us, that who are there for us professionally, that they're also there for us beyond what it means to be a professional as an Asian American. So I will continue to do that. I again, thank you so much to Henry and Johnson for inviting me and for really inspiring me this evening. I will hopefully connect with more of all of you so that we can continue to build a better future for all of us as Asian Americans. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sarah. Your action is truly inspiring. So I believe that your action will inspire all of us who are here join this call, and also who will see in the video later on to take actions. Any actions you feel appropriate to make our voice heard and protect the interest and make our society, our country better. The next speaker is Clarice Lee.
Thank you. I'm Clarice, founder of the Silicon Valley Mama Salon. Today, I participated in a march to San Jose City Hall to speak out against anti-Asian hate. I was proud to be there because I saw a diverse group of people united against hate. Old people, young people, parents, children, Asian, African American, Latinx people, Christians, and Muslims, people from women's rights group, all responding to MLK's warning that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. I brought my teenage daughter with me because I thought it was important for her to know what we are facing in this country and for her to participate. A lot of other parents are doing the same with their children. It is important because our children follow our examples. If we get involved, they will get involved. If we are part of the solution, they will be part of the solution. Fighting against discrimination is a multi-generational issue. We all have to do our part so that old and young are protected against violence and hate. The most important thing is to get involved in whatever way we can. Asian nonprofits, WeChat groups, and grassroots activists are making their voices heard. Some lawyers have been coming together to raise money for victims of anti-Asian violence. We need to support these efforts. And in the long term, we need to become more involved in politics so that we are not considered marginal or insignificant in polls and elections, so that Asian voice matter. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Classy. Clarice, are you Grace? Are you Grace? Are you the same person, Grace?
Clarice.
Clarice, are you Grace?
No.
No, okay, all right, sure. Is Grace Lee here? If Grace Lee is not here yet, so we would like to invite James Zhang Yuxiang.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is James Zhang. I am, I came to the US 31 years ago as a student. And since then, I have become of course, a US citizen, an engineer, and a manager of the city government. You know, in the past, when my friends and relatives outside of US ask me if this racism exists in US, especially in San Francisco, I tend to reply back, what do you mean, racism? We as the Chinese American, the Asian American, are the mainstream in San Francisco. But unfortunately, in the past, the recent violent attack on us Asian American really shatters my belief. That makes me realize that racism is only skin deep from us, and it's always ready to spring up to our face at any time, especially during difficult time like this. When tragedy happens, our leaders often tell us, we are better than this. But the sad truth is that America is, in terms of racism, in terms of race relationship against Asian American, has never been better than that. 150 years after our ancestor built the Trans-Pacific Railroad, and 80 years after the Chinese Exclusion Act was repealed, too many are still regarding us as foreigners. And if we don't fight back, America will never be better than this. I know some of our community members have pretty much repudiated political correctness, because some of us think and believe political correctness benefit only others in the expenses of ours. But how do we foster the right political correctness that could protect and benefit us, enable us to continue to pursue happiness in this country we call home, free of fear, free of hate, and free of being attacked? I believe that takes, not only takes a village, but it really takes a across the board effort. Across the board, we have to unite with our other, our sisters and brothers with other minority group and community. I really hope the recent wave of violent attack against us can serve as a wake-up call. Because believe it or not, it could get worse. Just trying to imagine if the Sino-American relationship continue to head south. What if US and China is engaged in a war, a hard war, which could be a possibility. It's not impossible. So I hope the recent event, tragic events, could really prepare us for even worse, and hope for the best. Thank you.
Thank you very much, James. Absolutely a concern. Thank you. And the next speaker is Grace Lee. Grace, are you here yet?
Yeah.
Would you be able to hear us? Okay, good, Grace. Go ahead, please.
8 people, 6 Asian, and also. You'd be lying if you say you did not see the coming. In the moment the word tongue flew to spit out of people's mouths was the moment I knew that the Asian hate missile was already skyrocketing full speed. You cannot blame the whole race for this pandemic. And calling the coronavirus the Chinese virus for only a few and place the blame on Chinese people and other Asians. We saw it coming. When people were being abused, harassed, assaulted in public just for being Asian, we knew what was coming. And some of us tried to do something about it, but it wasn't enough. While people were fighting, we were told that we were just being dramatic. We felt invisible. People said, oh, Kung Fu is just a joke. A joke is supposed to be funny, and it's not supposed to lead to death and despair. Words have consequences, and I am sick and tired of being willing for my parents' lives this whole time. It's time that we swear it. We will speak for this process, and we will no longer be silent. We are not shy and quiet anymore, and we are no less than any other American here. Please stop Asian hate.
Hello, Grace. Okay, so next speaker will be the Ray He. Ray, are you there? Ray, are you there? If Ray is not there, it's Marina. Marina.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So, thank you. I've been really sad and mad about these hate crimes for a long time, and especially for the Atlanta killing. Thank you all for taking this moment to grieve together. And we should fight against all this hate crime. I've been thinking really hard about this fight, about who is in this fight, what we're fighting for, and how can we win, and how can we fix it. So for who's fighting, I am seeing and really appreciating all the people I see, Black, white, and Asian, and everyone else. And yes, Black, white, Asians, the panda, I am the panda from China. Yeah, so as a Chinese immigrant, Chinese American, with the China virus provoking the hate, it's so sad. I am so sorry for all the other non-Chinese Asians suffering this together with us, and appreciating standing with us, and appreciating the Black community that come with us. Not all, I haven't seen many, but yes, I see some and appreciate them all that come. And many, many white people. I especially think highly of these white people because they are not forced. They don't have to, or they're not like us, the direct victims. We're forced to fight, we have to. And these people, there's many great people, they choose to fight because of love for peace and love for humanity, for, well, everyone human. So yes, thank you all, appreciating all these people. And what are we fighting for? This is, we see it as Asian hates, anti-Asian hates. it's first of all Asian problem. But no, it's not just Asian problem. It's American problem. It's writing into American history. It's making a dark history. When I see hate crimes rises like this, I see humanity falls. It falls fast for America. When America thinks the Chinese government fails to treat the citizen with humanity, and a lot of Chinese choose to immigrate. Look how the American treats their Chinese American and Asian American. Imagine, they sympathize Hong Kong so much for the last year. Me too, but imagine if all these Hong Kong people immigrate now, they'll get the same Asian hate. Where is humanity for America now? So, and then first thing, humanity. Second thing, I see justice. Okay. So when I see all the criminals easily get away with all these horrific crimes, I see the justice fails us. It fails to enforce laws. It fails to encourage all these hate crimes. It's systemic. It's in the system to encourage these hate crimes against us. So that's what I think we're fighting for. We Americans together, all colors, including white, are fighting for humanity, fighting for justice. So the third question, I think, is how can we fix this? To me, we see two things: hate and crimes. For hate, what do I see? Supremacists, right? Okay. I can't conclude all the hates. People just hate everyone for anything. So I'm not going to go there. But how can we fix it? I'm thinking, my opinion, it's going to start from education. We educate from school, write our contributions, Asian contribution, anti-Asian history into history books, educate from children, and then corporations as well, and support our museums and historic monuments. Yeah. And on how we educate them all on our contribution history, anti-Asian history, on how we are also American. We share the American dream. We belong here. This is our home. So that's the hate, addressing hate, I think, and crime. Second thing is crime. Crimes, justice is failing us. I think to address crimes, we need law and justice. It's so sad. I am seeing law and order being offending to the Black community.
Marina,
but this is, okay.
Yeah, Marina, yeah. We really appreciate it because we really thank you so much.
Can I go one last thing to question the bad day? So I'll just go last. I'd like to question America's racist Sheriff Jay Baker. I would like to ask each and every one of our fellow America. I am having a bad day every day. My community is having a dreadful day every day. America, what can we do?
I'm going to speak pretty soon.
Okay, what should we do? Please join us. Save America for humanity. Bring justice to America. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Marina. I think education is the most important. Actually, in the San Francisco, they already start to let everybody learn the new curriculum for all the different races. I think it's a good start. Thank you so much. So we will have next at least the two speakers. The first one should be the Joe Wang. Joe Wang, are you there? Yeah.
I'm here.
Okay.
Thank you for allowing me some time to speak. I have been listening to everybody, and everybody's right on. We need to be more assertive. We are Americans, and when we live in this country, we have to participate. We just cannot be passive. I'm not trying to blame the victims. We're the victim, but we can do something about it. The other thing I want to comment on is how our community has come together in San Francisco, in Oakland, and elsewhere. I just want to take this opportunity to tell you that on Wednesday, coming Wednesday, San Mateo is going to have the Wayne Lee, who was the former mayor and city councilman and police chief, at the San Mateo Park at 11 o'clock to rally the people in San Mateo. So all of you are invited if you should have time on Wednesday at 11 o'clock. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I am an Asian boy and I am 9 years old. I had to skip my baseball game just for this. Why am I here? It's because I am scared and angry. Yes, I read the news and I am upset with what happened over these past few days. First with Atlanta, now with Orange County, and now in San Francisco, which is right around the corner. Some people are trying to say that the murders were not about race, but it's hard to accept that we're not being discriminated against. I have an Asian mom too. What if she was attacked like that in the future? No one wants to be the next victim. This hatred is hurting our fellow Asian Americans, and we must all stand tall to stop it. I am Asian. I am an American, and I am Asian American.
Thank you, everyone. This type of speak can go on and on and on because a lot of us have something to say about it. A lot of us frustrated about the situation and would like to express the feeling of it at this moment. So let me bring up some points for everybody to consider or think about. This is not new. This is at least happened 150 years ago, or maybe even more. It happened in the 1882 about the Chinese Exclusion Act. It happened in 1943 against the Japanese Americans. It happened in many, many other occasions for any other Asians in other minority groups, you name it. So I live in California like many of us here at the call. So California is the largest US economy. It is contributed dramatically to the nation, the America. It is the 6th largest economy in the world. We have in California 6 million, close to 6 million Asians to contribute to this economy. Back to the history about the Pacific Rail. Historically, it is consensus that without the Chinese and other Asians to finish the most difficult challenging last piece of the construction, there would be no such a thing called Pacific Rail completion. And what about science? What about research? What about the wars we participated? So Asian Americans, like any other Americans, contribute dramatically to this country. Yes, we are the minority, only 6.5% nationwide are Asians. But in the world, the Asian community as a population is almost 60%, 60% in the world population. So our contribution to the country deserve to be recognized. Our voices deserve to be heard. Our interests deserve to be protected. Fellow Americans, Asian Americans, let's work together to fight against this dark force of hate. Let's unite ourselves and to build together a better society and a better country. Thank you very much for all of you to participate in today's meeting, and sorry for the delay as we planned.
Yeah, so everyone please turn on your camera and show your signs here. Let's show that we unite together with our effort to stop Asian hate. We'll take a group picture.
Thank you, all the volunteers and all the speakers, and really appreciate. I hope we really can work together and we can influence a lot of people. Look like Ying Zhou, and he said we still have 80% of Asian American people did not speak out. So we're looking for another 80% of the people they can stand up and speak out, and we are looking for the better life in the future. Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you.